Welcome to STS 12, in which we go free to play. Woohoo!
Haha.
There you go. We now need to open a shop and have like lots of premium content and stuff.
Yeah, stupid, pointless crap, and dare I say,
gold skins.
Dare I say, gold ammunition.
Ooh, I wonder who you're referencing that. Hey, look, we have an Irishman back. He's recovered.
Yeah, just about. I've managed to banish Surge from my seat. It's been thoroughly disinfected, and yes, I returned.
What did you think of the Irish accent?
It was better than mine, which is saying something. Although
it
he went
drifted a
Welsh.
bit.
Yeah.
Yeah, he drifted a bit, didn't he? He went to like the valleys.
Although
For a
I
bit
did
of a
break
wonder.
quite a lot. I was just laughing fairly hard in my chair when I heard it. So it was all
Good, I'm
good.
glad. You've had a fairly bad week, but let's not discuss that.
Yeah.
Aye, let's
So-
just not linger.
You've managed to get some videos out though, Cal, even in like your time away.
I did. Basically, when I came back from work at 2:30 in the morning, I was like, right, need to do videos because we need to keep the content going. Basically, the first game I looked at was Cute Things Dying Violently, which should be somewhere in the background, I think.
Yep.
Anyway, this game is ridiculously fun. When I finished shooting the footage for it, I put everything together and got the encode going, and then I went back and played it for another 4 hours, which was a big mistake because I had work the next day and I was exhausted.
But is it fun?
It's amazingly fun, and the fact that each level is somewhere in the region of 5 minutes if you're terrible, 1 minute if you're good, it's just like, well, I can just play one more level. There's 60 levels, so you can keep going.
It's that one more
more
turn.
level syndrome.
Yeah, one more
Yeah.
turn, one more level, just one more try.
It is
I
fantastically
believe it's
fun, though.
called the Civ syndrome,
Yeah,
isn't it?
just one
Yeah.
more turn.
Yeah.
Oh,
So what
God.
else? You put something else out.
Yeah, I got an email telling me about Formula 1 Online, the game from Codemasters. Now, I went into this expecting something completely different from what I got. The first thing is, as can be seen in the video in the background, it's an isometric view, and that took me completely by surprise. I was expecting to sit down here with a controller or a steering wheel and do some racing.
It gets worse than that, doesn't it?
The small bit, the controls are really weird because you control the entire thing with your mouse apart from toggling boosts on your keyboard. So that takes a ton of getting used to, but it is surprisingly fun. There's a good progression system to it, and it's got full leaderboards, so if you've got friends or anything, you can just race their times or gloat if you want.
I think
And
it's a really good way of doing it.
Yeah, it's free to play because everything that you pay for is visual, or it's aesthetic.
I mean, with the controls, it breaks away completely with that. Normally, F1 games are quite, they're the very geeky, nerdy end of the racing spectrum. I mean, I've got a force feedback steering wheel. I know what I'm talking about.
Yeah.
And to go with this mouse control system, I think really opens it up for more people to just play the game and have fun, and not for it to be some hardcore racing game.
Yeah, and I think the beauty of it is it's completely web-based, so you don't need to have a controller or a steering wheel with you. If you're out somewhere at a web cafe or something, you can just log in, do a race, log out, 10 minutes, you're done.
Yeah.
So it's a very nice way of doing things, and it is quite a lot of fun.
It's probably going to sneak its way into more than one blue chip workplace as well.
I'm not going to comment on that. Less said about that, the better. How about you, Dave? What have you been doing this week?
Yeah. What? Who? What?
Yes, you over there in the corner.
Jumping on me instantly. Ooh.
Yeah, wakey.
So, video-wise, going with the one that I've done most recently, we did Political Machine 2012 yesterday, which was amazing. I ended up getting Donald Trump as President of the United States.
What?
That's rather scary.
Yeah.
It's a rather interesting puzzle strategy game from Stardock, the guys who made Sins of a Solar Empire and Galactic Civilizations.
Yeah.
So it's kind of a bit different from, you know, the 4X stuff that they normally do. And it's weird. You essentially have to like move from state to state and do the whole speeches, campaign ads, but you can also like smear campaign your opponent. So as I was playing Donald Trump, all I did was just wander around saying how I'm for traditional values of the US and just smear campaigning the ever-living crap out of my opponent.
Nice.
And it worked.
Well, isn't that how
Of course
politics
it
works
would.
anyway?
I guess.
Yeah, you can also hire extra people as well, which was the fantastic thing. You can hire, I can't remember what they're called, helpers or initiates or something, and they will, depending on which one you pick, they'll do different things. Like one of the ones I picked was a guy, an intimidator, who walks around kicking over signs and stuff and lowers your opponent's influence in that state, which is quite interesting. It's a fun little game. It's only a few quid on Steam, and it was really enjoyable, especially because it's all bobbleheads.
Nice.
Bobbleheads make everything better.
Which is a brilliant style. Apart from that, also did one on Wanderlust with Surge, and we got killed in the first 20 seconds.
Nice. It's probably set up by Surge.
Actually, it was me. I got him killed. It's a bit
Nice.
Wow.
I approve of this.
Revenge.
It was a kind of kickback to the old style RPGs that you used to, like Secret of Mana and Chrono Trigger and the old Zelda games and stuff, you know, top-down style. And it was fun, but we had a few issues with it. We explain what they are in the video, but it was enjoyable as long as you've got someone to play it with. That was our big main concern.
Fair enough.
But apart from that, I've been playing Dota as always because the community never leaves me alone with that.
Blah.
And Disgaea. I went back and I've started playing Disgaea 2.
Yeah, what's the trailer for that? Just before we started doing recording for this. Batshit holy, what the hell?
Yes. Welcome
Excuse
to Disgaea.
me, what?
Yeah,
Welcome to Disgaea.
It's amazing. You mentioned you've been playing Disgaea 2. Is that the PSP version you've been playing, or something
no,
else?
unfortunately I've been playing the PS2 version. I don't have a PSP. But we have a PS2, so I dusted it off, and I've been playing that.
Awesome.
I've played 1, so I wanted to play 2.
Yeah, not kidding with the dusting. PS2, man.
Yeah. I also played some Lost Odyssey, which is one of the most depressing games I've ever played. Great game, so depressing.
I know.
It's like any character that your guy has ever met, he will remember them dying.
Yeah. To be fair, when... Actually, I'm not going to finish that sentence because it does spoil something about the game.
I'm going to guess that, like, after Disc 2, he suddenly gets over his midlife crisis and he's like, I remember the time that I saw a girl holding an ice cream in a balloon.
No.
I just expect it to, like, hopefully go that way, but I'm pretty sure it's just going to get darker and darker.
It gets very dark. My only complaint about Lost Odyssey is I wish the writing in the game itself was as good as the writing in the little stories that you pick up. Because those stories are really good, but the overall game story isn't amazing. It's fairly cliche in my opinion.
Yeah, but the story contains Janssen, so everything is fine.
This is very true.
Janssen is one of the best characters. So, all of the flashbacks to old stuff out of the way, the footage in the background I feel I should mention quickly is Ravaged, which all of us are going to be taking a look at tomorrow, I believe.
Yes.
And it's a wonderful little post-APOC vehicular FPS, and it's by guys called Two Dawn. They're a wonderful little indie guys, and they give us some copies to give away as well, which will...
I'm quite looking forward to this. I've been having a little look up, watching some trailers and bits and pieces, and this looks like quite a laugh. The best bits of what I enjoyed about Battlefield, which is, you know, running people over in a tank, mostly.
It's a bit more arcadey than that. Like, you hit a guy in a tank, they bounce, from a car, they bounce off the front of the car. It's that sort of thing. Like, you'll still do damage to them if you hit them good enough. And you can still kill them if you do it right. But it's a bit more arcadey than that.
You get some hilarious segments though where two vehicles are going towards each other because one ends up running over the other and generally flips fairly severely.
I was on a bike, I think this will be in the footage, I'm not sure because I recall a fair amount, but I was on a bike, a little three-wheel bike, and I caught a teammate's car. And you won't see the car because you can't turn around and look behind you when you're on a vehicle because you're locked to, like, you know, actual kind of standard motion. But you can see the car kind of bounce off my bike and go flying. And it's wonderful. And there's some other good footage with the vehicles in this. So I'm really looking forward to checking out tomorrow. It is, of course, still in beta, so we're going to be a little soft on it. As, you know, that's fair. But really looking forward to it, especially as more multiplayer FPSs are always good. Especially something that's post-APOC.
Yeah, I must say the Two Dawns guys are pretty cool because you always find them on the servers. I had Two Dawns, the intern, putting up with my...
He's not actually Two Dawn.
Is he not?
Nope. Bam! Instantly destroyed I've blown your mind.
Well, I'm just going to stop talking now.
However, they do have a beta TeamSpeak, and they do have Play with the Dev nights, which are on Sundays.
That's quite cool.
Okay, I need to get involved in one of those.
We've had a few similar sessions that we do regularly see a few of the guys on. I can now even say what it is. The MechWarrior Online beta.
You just had to, did you?
Yeah, under being a founder, we're allowed, because all the founders are now in, and that's public knowledge. We're allowed to basically say we're in the beta. That's about all I can say, unfortunately, because of the NDA. It's great fun to play. If you played any of the MechWarrior games before, it does feel like playing a MechWarrior game.
Careful with what you say.
It's going free to play though, which is my only concern, because it can make or break a game depending on how, essentially, to lay it on the line, how greedy the guys are that are calling the shots with the money. It can push people away, I think, from spending money they would normally spend because things are just an edge on the greedy side. Blacklight Retribution's a good example of that.
I didn't think Blacklight was too bad, but a lot of companies are starting to get the free-to-play model. They're not being overly greedy or giving people too much of an advantage starting out if you do pay.
Yeah, there's thankfully been enough of a player backlash against the pay to win, you know, the way to call it, attitude that a lot of companies took. A lot of companies still are taking, to give a clear advantage to somebody who's paid, to make an obvious incentive to get some cash out.
One of the interesting ones that's gone free to play just recently, I'm sure you have heard it being yelled at you from every direction.
Oh yeah.
Because Swtor went free to play. He's going free to play rather. Yes, correction. He's going free to play in the fall.
That was the game was bad.
No. This is where I draw contention with this. So it's going free to play in. I think it's going free to play in the fall, isn't it, Cal?
I think it's
fall.
Late September. I think.
Yeah.
No wait, that's Mr. Pandaria. November.
Okay. Well, whenever it is, the issue is that ever since it launched, people have kind of been apprehensive about subbing to it because of the rumors of it going free to play or it being built with the intention of going free to play.
Okay.
Now, I'm wondering if that had anything to do with it, because if they had have shot down all those rumors and said, no, we're never going free to play.
They did.
Then, yeah, but they did it in their typical way.
Yeah.
Which is they say it with one hand, and then with the other hand they kind of disprove it. But I wonder if those rumors hadn't existed, would the game still be going free to play this soon?
Of course it would.
Because, well, no, because if you think about it from the mentality of someone's opinion, like, they're not going to want to sub to a game if they know it's going to be free to play in 5 months.
Yeah.
Well, I stopped subbing to the game because...
You stopped subbing because the guild died, because we completed everything quicker than intended.
Because
they then removed the next difficulty up that we wanted to actually try, and then they touted that they were bringing it back in.
There was nothing in the game. It was all publicity, hype, and double talk. Everything about it was managed PR, and it stunk of managed PR, and the game was repetitive and dull, and where all of the money went on the voice acting was pointless crap voice acting of repetitive, dull story. There was no thought in it, no moral choice that made any damn difference, and once you got to the end, people had whined and whinged and watered down the light and dark system, then it made no difference, because when you got to the end, if you got bored of being one, you could just flip it to the other.
I love the fact that when we first did Karagas, the mobs weren't actually named. Do you remember that?
Yeah.
When we first did Karaga's Palace, they were boss beasts.
Yeah, boss beast or one, and yeah, it was unfinished.
And then they kind of, they patched it, and we cleared Karaga's in that week. We cleared Karaga's in like 2 days. We were the only guild on our server that was 16-man. That was the most irritating thing, because their method for raiding was everything in 8-man for 16-man will just essentially double. Damage, debuffs, all that stuff will just double.
Apart from the loot, you got exactly the same loot, only there was more of you to share it out between, so less chance of you actually getting the stuff you wanted.
There were a few more pieces on 16, however, the issue was that the mobs were so much easier on 8-man. We were the only 16-man guild because we were stubborn. Everyone else was doing it on 8 and getting the same gear.
Shits and giggles, just because, well, we'll do it as 16-man, because 8-man's a walk in the park.
Yeah, we did it for prestige. I mean, we walked away with... We killed everything on 16-man. Everything there was. And then they announced that they would be bringing out more stuff, but they would be holding... I think they announced they would be holding off a Nightmare.
Yeah, because we were looking forward to Nightmare mode was totally broken, and then they completely pulled it out, and then they started touting it as some new feature that was going to go in. It was like, wait a minute, that was in there but didn't work, and you pulled it out. It's not a new feature. You're just fixing old mistakes.
Okay, so
I lost my shit
just
at
to
that point.
stop this going completely out of control and bring it somewhat back on topic. What's the max level in Swtor at the moment?
50?
Okay, because I saw a press release when they were saying they were going free to play that free to play members will be capped at 50, but subscribers will be able to go on further. I'm not quite sure what to make of that.
It's 50, isn't it? It's not 60. I'm not going insane here, am I, Xander?
I believe it to be 50, unless they put
So unless they
more
plan on
content.
upping it.
Unless they're putting some expansion in that only paid members get access to, which
So
is just another lame way of doing it, and they're just trying to
It
squeeze
may
more money
be,
than us.
there's the TV, there's the Battlemaster system, so it may be something to do with that as well.
So it's going
It
to
could be.
end
It's
up
just
being
the way it
paid
was-
for advantage, basically, in PvP.
Yeah, the way it was worded just sounds like you're getting a glorified trial. Now, it's one hell of a long trial because you're getting everything up to 50. But if there's more afterwards, then it's not really free to play because in an MMO, people want the end game. And if you're locked off from that, if you're not a subscriber, then what can you call that model?
What's the point? Yeah, it's an extended trial.
Yeah.
A lot of free-to-play games seem to have done exactly that. It just seems to be effectively an extended trial. You get trial access to bits and pieces. Even like LOL, you get trial access to this hero for a week, and then they rotate. A set of heroes around every week. So you get to try this and try that. But if you want to keep anything, you got to realistically get your wallet out. So it kind of is free to play, but no more than it always has been. They've just managed to change people's mentality to get some more money out of their wallets. Just screams a twist in the market to get some more money out, make it more and more corporate.
Well, the game is still profitable. Like that's the weird thing. Like it's dropped below 1 million subs, but as long as they keep 500k, they'll break even. They'll keep breaking even at 500k.
Yeah, so it'll just be a small game that relying on the
which is kind of
relying on
scary.
the Star Wars IP.
Well, they say that 500,000 subscribers will break. They will break even at 500,000 subscribers. That's still about 5 mil a month.
Yeah, you got to think of the server costs and whatnot, and the number of staff and the way they run things. It's not a small agile company. It's a large.
I never say it was small, but it's a case of it's kind of scary when you actually realise that it's $15 a month over in America. It's like 10 quid here. That's still like 5 mil.
Yeah,
it's quite impressive.
Well, it shows the massive amount of red tape that's obviously between the actual game and the end player. That's the number of people in the chain that have got to be paid.
Anyway, we should start wrapping up.
We should.
So, we've got Ravaged coming out tomorrow. We've got... Kel, do you have anything else planned?
I'm going to be looking at Deadlight on the 360 and Orcs Must Die if I can rope lunch into doing it. Because it's co-op only.
Fair enough. I've got a virus named Tom to take a look at. Also Symphony, and I believe I may take a look at the new point and click that came out yesterday. Book of Unwritten Tales. I might take a look at that if I get time.
That does look kind of awesome.
Because I am absolutely rushed off my feet organising stuff that we are yet to announce. We'll announce next week all of the other stuff that I'm doing.
Yeah.
Because I'm a dirty tease.
Yeah. And we're running out of time, so there we go.
Yep. So, if you have any questions, queries, or comments, leave them down. Where, Kel?
Below.
There you go. And from myself, Xander, and Kel, we will catch you in the next video. Peace.
In a while.
Stay awesome.